Warning, the following can be based on real-life events, not naming real people or real establishments. If you feel you're a part of what this may be based on, please feel free to keep that opinion to yourself. Also, go get a cookie for working out you may be responsible for this and have had enough brain power to work that out. Bravo, you. Bravo.
Good evening. Hi there, man. As you can probably tell by my cup of disposable coffee and my rather sweet chair. However, I seem to have no coffee and a very sweet chair. You may also be able to tell I work in an office on a business park. How are you able to tell that? By my lanyard and my ID. But I can't show you that for legal reasons. I'm here to tell you tonight how you other managers can get the best out of your staff members in the most effective manner. First off, you need to remember that all your staff are subordinate to yourself. However, you must remember to act friendly to them until it is time for you not to do so, or when it's convenient for you not to do so. For instance, when a bigger boss is in, when a subordinate is correct, and most importantly, when a subordinate is correct in front of a bigger boss, whilst a big boss is around. Not to confuse with the bigger boss and the big boss asset. Assets are what you need in people. Sometimes they are on some people, but nevertheless, these assets shouldn't be used to put people down, even if the way the owner of them down. They must be upheld as outstanding individuals or a rather nice pair in most circumstances. Now you must be wondering why we're singing on top about talking nice pairs of assets. Surely, what has this got to do with management, I hear you ask? Well, I'll tell you what it has to do with management. Everything. The ability to go on and speak rubbish for long periods of time, but sound like you know what you're talking about, is very big in management. For instance, according to Mr. R. Soul of the New Statesman, the key to happy employees is to play the Thunderbirds theme song 14 times before the start of the workday. Whilst Miss Ivana Tinkle says the key is to liquidize broccoli. Then again, Mr. C.B. Barkett says that if you liquidize the Thunderbirds theme in a New Statesman shaped like broccoli, it does the job very well. You know all that is complete bollocks, but because you believe it, because I believed it, it wasn't. Oh, what a fun day. But the success in management is the ability to use PowerPoint with its usual technical faults on the projector, poor projector location, and of course the poor quality tiny printouts with space to make notes on. That is of course that if there isn't anything on that you haven't spelled out word for word. To maximise the success in the PowerPoint presentation, you need to spend as much time as possible on the easy parts and brush up the bit you actually need. But we'll get onto that bit later. Now, it is an essential part of management to make demands, but not the straightforward or single or double demands. Not I want it all and I want it now. It's a case of you want it all and you want it now, but you want it with that report that's due in 3 days whilst you aim to hit your sales list before you attend all the meetings about paperwork whilst you take calls about work on your lunch break yesterday. Now, if an employee has an issue with it, just smile and nod politely. And make it seem like they're stupid for not being able to manage, and they can go crying for covered like you once did. I mean, it's easy. What is difficult about you wanting it all and wanting it now, whilst you want it with that report that's due in 3 days' time, whilst trying to hit your sales list before attending all the meetings about paperwork, taking calls on your lunch break about work yesterday? Something possible also from Queen, there is nothing hard about it. You had to do it to get where you are, even if you kissed all the right people on the behind and did what you had to become a star. Who cares? The point is, you did it. Adding into this complicated situation is the questionable processes that extend down to our subordinates. Yes, you can use the photocopy. Yes, you can copy in colour, but we want to sacrifice a goat to Satan in your living room twice a year. Don't question why. You agree to what you started. In fact, you should use that. Actually, thinking about it, you should use that as a defence for the action. Yes, there may be goat blood in your sofa, but who knew there would be, and who knew that would be a possibility? You knew that would be a possibility when you wanted to photocopy something in colour. You don't have to obtain sales leads. Well, we have 3 people in this 50-person company who can do it, and because they have no life, they continue to do it all month. So expect the other 47 employees to be able to do it without question. We then move on to state confusion when the subordinate questions the process and makes a suggestion. What do you mean it's not convenient to sacrifice a goat in your living room? It's not convenient either for the goat, selfish git. The important thing is if the subordinate suggests an idea that is better than the current thinking, it is the pouncing it like a hawk that makes it sound like it's your idea. You'd rather play a game of Cluedo? Well, we'll play strip Cluedo instead. Obviously, Colonel Mustard will not cavort with Miss Scarlet, but who knows? We can't control ourselves. You may have suggested Cluedo, but we've added the management touch to it. Finally, there is communication. Communication with our subordinates is very important to show them. You need to show how open and communicating you are. Even though I've started to clearly lose my train of thought, you need to show how you are good at communicating by flooding their inbox at least twice a day with emails of a silly and patronising nature, stating the obvious on a regular basis. This is paramount, otherwise these little things will forget who they are meant to look up to. It's also important to make sure that all the communication is done in a simple and patronising manner. These people are beneath you and therefore they're more stupid. You are able to think for themselves. Never fail to remind them of this, and just to make sure that no one works it out. So in summary, a successful manager is simple. You need to keep your employees informed about silly things on a regular basis, treat them like they have no brain, confuse their workload but not understand any point that they complain about. It's time to work harder until they work out how to work the coffee machine, enjoy management experience. Good night!
Oi! Get back to work, you lazy gits!